region West, tapi kita juga membuka ini untuk seluruh elemen dari PERMIAS Nasional di seluruh chapters di Amerika Serikat. Saya Harun Ardiansyah, perwakilan dari PERMIAS Michigan untuk tim ad hoc ketua umum pemilihan ketua umum, dan sekarang saya dengan partner saya yaitu
Hi, I'm Zahra, and I'm from PERMIAS, Massachusetts on the ad hoc team.
Yep, and we will guide you to all the process of Q&A sessions, info sessions for today. Okay, the agenda, there will be two main agenda, which is the first one is the presentation from the new administration. They will have to present what their vision and mission and all the programs that they have in 15 minutes, and then we can go from there to the Q&A session. Terus maybe without further ado, let's go to Michelle, Hanif, and Latisa, the new VP and President of PERMIAS Nasional. Hello, guys. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the warm welcome. Juga thank you everyone for attending, and kemarin yang juga udah sempat ikut kemarin, I see some of the similar faces juga hari ini. So yeah, thank you so much for coming, and hopefully kita bisa present and juga ngobrol-ngobrol hari ini untuk kesuksesan PERMIAS Nasional tahun depan.
Okay, so I think we can just start directly. So we can hand it over to you, Michelle, Hanif, and Latisa, to just start your presentation in 15 minutes.
All right, that sounds good. For the presentation, I'll start with the intro of my team. Well, as Harun has introduced, aku, Michelle, will take on the position of a president, and then I have two really great people with me, my vice presidents, ada Hanif sama Latisa, and then I think we're gonna personally introduce ourselves in the next slide. All right, so currently I'm studying in UCLA, doing a double major in business economics and communications. I've had several prior positions di PERMIAS, kayaknya nggak henti-henti di PERMIAS dari 4 tahun kuliah ini. In my first year, I started out the IPSA, which is sort of the PERMIAS at UCLA. And then I went on to go to PERMIAS LA, where I was like finance and then also co-president last year. And sambil ngejalanin co-president of PERMIAS LA, aku juga ngejalanin co-director of organizational development di PERMIAS Nasional, where I received a lot of opportunities to interact with the chapters and also create new solutions and programs specifically for chapters based on their pain points and needs. So if you guys want to connect more with me, nanya tentang PERMIAS after this session or anything, please feel free to reach out to me through my socials listed. Pastinya kalau misalnya mau fast response, just WhatsApp me, and then we can go from there. I'm also very open for calls, so if you need to call me, that's completely fine. That's it for me. Maybe next, ada Hanif and this.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Hanif. Tadi thank you for the agak lebih-lebihkan mungkin ya tadi perkenalan dari Michelle. But she forgot to mention that she's also a very great person and a great friend and also a great leader. Jadi in this opportunity, Michelle asked me to accompany her to run for president and vice president along with Latisa. I am currently a master's student in Penn State. I've been here for a year and a half. I am also an LPDP awardee 2019. So before that, I graduated with my bachelor's degree from ITB. Then after I graduate, saya langsung jadi academic and research assistant di ITB. Sebelumnya pas S1 di ITB juga I was president of an organization called YATMI SM ITB. And then last year I was also an officer in organizational development bareng sama Michelle juga. Jadi dulu jadi bawahan Michelle, sekarang jadi bawahan Michelle lagi di PERMIAS Nasional. And here's my contact. Don't hesitate if you need anything. Just feel free to contact me.
Hi guys, my name is Latisa. I worked with Hanif and Michelle in ArcDev as their like anak buah. So continuing to do that, as Hanif mentioned, I think I was really lucky to be working with them. Jadi currently I'm in NYU. I'm taking Sustainable Development and Management, and I actually started PERMIAS pretty recently. Tapi I got to know a lot of people and I got to help out with a lot of projects. So I'm really excited to see what's next. And yeah, as Hanif and Michelle also mentioned, okay, there's my contact. If you guys need anything, don't hesitate to reach out.
All right, starting off, I think how we structure our presentations is I'll give a sort of broad overview of what our vision and mission is for the next year, and hopefully that'll get you guys excited. And then after that, I will hand it over to Hanif and Latisa to specifically explain the internal and external programs and departments that we have. So then we can go to the next slide and they'll dive deeper into the vision. All right, so I can just read this first. So PERMIAS Nasional aspires to be a world-renowned organization that creates a home away from home for all Indonesian students in the United States through building a strong community of academically talented and professionally accomplished future world leaders. So I'm going to break down this statement first by zeroing and focusing on world-renowned organization. You know, I think with the scope and breadth of talent that we have in our organization and in the US, like Indonesian students studying in the US, we really sometimes underestimate you know, what us as students can do and what even us together and a network of students can do together. So we really want to make PERMIAS more established. Some ways we're trying to make it more world-renowned and also established is through making it an official yayasan, as well as interacting with more external organizations all over the world, as well as those that are in the US and Indonesia specifically. And then we want to be very inclusive of all Indonesian students, meaning that, you know, we have a diverse array of like Indonesian students studying in the US. Ada some that are studying for a shorter period, cuma datang ke sini dalam 6 bulan. Ada some that are here for 4 years, ada undergraduate, masters, and even PhD. And there's also Indonesian students that are born and raised in the US. So we have such a diverse mix of people, and it becomes stronger. We become stronger together as a community. So we want to be inclusive of everyone and provide a platform with PERMIAS Nasional for everyone to create the strong basis of community of supporting one another, right? And that's how we really want to focus. What we really want to focus on next year is like creating that strong community ties, and even providing forums and discussion boards for specific interests and groups to foster that sense of strong community and build a home away from home. And with that strong community, we believe that if we create this ecosystem where we can support one another, and we already have such talented, you know, students coming here in the US, we can also, you know, help and support them in their journey to become future world leaders. You know, we've seen some examples today yang kita ngelihat di Indonesia, maybe mereka mau undergrad, masters, or PhD or sekolah di US, and they become, you know, today's leaders. You see a couple ministers yang dulu sekolahnya di US, and I think dari PERMIAS Nasional tahun sekarang, whether you are a board member or you're just a student studying, you guys are going to be the future world leaders, maybe not necessarily even just in Indonesia, but all over the world, wherever you choose to be. So that's our vision, and we really want to have a supportive ecosystem for everyone. And then to our mission. All right. And our mission is to support all Indonesians in the United States by engaging students, chapters, and external organizations through continuous collaboration and by focusing on value-add programs that directly address their academic, professional, and social needs. So we've segmented, you know, first our partners, and then second, our three key pillars, focus pillars. So our partners are the students, chapters, and external organizations. You know, I like to go back to singkatan PERMIAS itu artinya apa sih? Persatuan Mahasiswa Indonesia di AS. And sometimes kita ngelihat persatuannya, tapi kadang kita nggak ngelihat mahasiswa Indonesia di AS-nya, which is basically what I'm trying to talk about is we want to focus in and think about us as students, kayak keperluan murid-murid yang study di US itu apa, you know, what are their academic, professional, social needs, and really focusing on programs and initiatives that will support these students and not just creating like events that we don't like, you know, that we want just because we're interested in them, but creating events that everyone and students are interested in and really support them. And then second, our chapters are, you know, working with OrgDev. I had the opportunity to work with a lot of chapters, and they are definitely a key partner with PERMIAS Nasional, and PERMIAS Nasional wouldn't be where it is today if it's not for all the strong chapters in the different areas across the US. So that's another point that we would like to establish a stronger relationship with all chapters and collaborate even more. And then with our external organization, we're creating a partnership department where we will collaborate with more external organizations and set specific partner managers to collaborate with these external organizations. So PERMIAS becomes back again to the vision, which is becomes a world-renowned organization. And the three key pillars that we're focusing on is academic, professional, and social needs. You know, we're all here students and trying to come to the US to learn. So academic is an important pillar, and we have different series as well as new programs that we're trying to create. And then for the professional aspect, we're not only trying to focus on professional development, but also on how we can aid students in getting jobs out of school. And third, social needs is this is why a lot of people come to PERMIAS is to have that network and community. So we're really going to create programs such as forums to really help foster this community and network between students as well as alumni. All right. I think that's it for me. To be more specific on the program side, we can go to the internal first, and Hanif is an amazing person to talk about internal, and he did a lot of internal support, and Latisa as well. Their personalities really fit to what they're doing, and I think they're amazing leaders on their own and have done such a great job even just this past month of planning our department. So take it away, guys.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So first, we're gonna talk about the internal affairs. So the first department that we have is general affairs, which is pretty much consists of 2 generalists and 2 secretaries. So their main responsibility is for the administrative stuff of PERMIAS Nasional. So we're trying to be more organized and more structured in terms of the administrative stuff for this organization. Jadi and again ini saya nggak capek-capek dari from our previous 2 info sessions, we always praise our predescendant administration gitu. Ini shout out to Alvin, Andrew, and Otto. They have done a really good job handling the previous administration. But to be honest, I think most of the achievements that PERMIAS had today relies on those 3 personally gitu. Jadi kalau orang lain yang handle mungkin dengan sistem yang ada kemarin mungkin bisa beda ceritanya karena kemarin benar-benar bergantung ke ketiga orang hebat itu. Jadi what we're trying to do is we for the next administration we're looking forward to have a sustainable system within the organization. So starting with this general affairs, jadi ntar untuk segala keperluan administratif menyangkut timeline and then evaluation within each of the departments, and then documents and archiving system those objectives will be the responsibility of general affairs. And then next, we also have the finance team. So basically, the finance team is responsible for managing the general cash flows and treasury of PERMIAS Nasional. Jadi ini basically this department is the bendahara for this organization. Their main objectives is managing general cash flows, cash in and cash out, and then they will also organize financial report, and then also they will hold the treasury of this organization. And then next, we also have fundraising and business development. Jadi awalnya kita mikir namanya fundraising aja, tapi kayaknya kurang menarik gitu ya, if it's just fundraising, danus gitu. I remember dulu when I go to my when I had my S1, when I had my undergrad, kayak yang danus nih biasanya jualan donat, but we want to go beyond that. Jadi we are going to set up our own business platforms. Jadi yeah, as the name say, they will be responsible of executing the fundraising and business development strategies, and then they will manage and report the cash in for our organization, and also collaborate with partnership to manage the sponsors. And then the next department we are going to have is human resources and development. Jadi ini back to the name tadi, similar kayak yang tadi, kita pengennya ada development. Kalau bisa semua department ada development, because we want to develop as an organization. Jadi not only they will manage the human resource, but they will also have the responsibility to develop their performance and well-being gitu ya. Jadi they will be responsible for the officer recruitment, and then setting up evaluation system for each of the individuals to make sure that they develop that they have some kind of value add. Tadi balik ke yang what Michelle wants for this administration. We really want to have all of our members, and also especially all of our officers, to have some added value by the end of the administration. So this is the department which will be responsible for that. And then the next one is the technology and digital transformation. So in short, the tech team, they will be responsible as the supporting system for PERMIAS Nasional concerning anything that has to do with digital platforms. So yeah, they will act as the supporting system for all of the other departments that needs some kind of digital platforms. And also they will be responsible for developing our website, which is already very amazing, I think. But as a students organization's website, it is very cool. I don't know, mungkin Irsyad tadi bisa think of other adjectives you got to explain our website. But yeah. And then next one is, last but not least, promotion and publication. So as the name say, they will be responsible of managing, they will become our channel between our organization to the outside world. Jadi they will be responsible for all of our social media platforms, and also mainly to support the needs of other departments to publicate and promote our events. Yeah, this is, I would say, ini juga kepengurusan yang kemarin udah keren banget. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with our social media, with our Instagram, and our own Michelle is taking over Instagram right now. So if you guys have some comments or questions, yeah, feel free to visit our Instagram. And yeah, that's it for internal. Next, I will hand it over to Latisa.
Hi guys, jadi I'm gonna be running the VP of External. Jadi it's gonna be everything kind of not internal, like all of the executing departments. So yeah, next. So our first one is community outreach and alumni relations. And I guess the biggest goal of this department is going to be to reach out to all of the 8,000 plus Indonesian students that we have in the US. And also to always connect with our alumni, because we're trying to continuously expand our network. And one way we're going to do this is through the following programs: PERMIAS Mara, PERMIAS Forums, and member database. So with PERMIAS Mara, it's kind of like a dating app where we connect different people together, especially within like Indonesians in PERMIAS. And then there's also the PERMIAS Forums, where different people's interests are going to be, different people are going to be put together based on their interests. And we're hoping that this is going to also connect more people from the West and the East Coast, and to kind of grow your network, and then potentially even spark up new ideas, even do some projects with the people that you meet in these forums. We also have the member database, because through these two programs, we're hoping to get a better understanding of who is where and how many people accurately are there right now who are active. Next. So another department is the OrgDev, organization department, which is organizational development, which is what Hanif, me, and Michelle used to actually work with. And I think with this department, we're going to continue to focus on what Hanif and Michelle so amazingly built, which is the workshop and drive and the hub. And the hub is basically where all of the different events from the East to the West Coast in PERMIAS are put, so that if anyone if anyone's ever bored, or if anyone kind of is looking for some entertainment, they can always go to the hub and see the available events for the day or for the next week. There's also the workshop and drive, which is kind of where we're going to be able to focus on building people's skills, and also the chapter database, where we're going to have a better understanding of what's going on within the chapters, and potentially who's there, who's running it, and whether or not they need anything from us. Next. There's also Koordinator Wilayah. And the point of Koordinator Wilayah is basically that there's a representative from PERMIAS Nasional within the PERMIAS Cabangs. And so there's East Coast 1, there's East Coast 2, West Coast 1, West Coast 2, and so on. And I guess the point of this is that we're going to have better collaborations with the chapters, and we're also going to have inter-chapter collaboration. And I guess through this Korwil, they're also going to be kind of another way for PERMIAS chapters to communicate with us, and for us to help as usual in any way that we can, and provide you with any resources. Yeah, next. There's also going to be partnerships, and I think the biggest thing the partnerships department is going to do is they're going to try their best to work with as many external student organizations, or just general organizations. And the things that they're going to be focusing on is the scholarship program, Menos, Kerja, and working with KJRI, KBRI. So in terms of the scholarship program, how that's going to work is that we're planning on getting potential investors, or like more people to help out or volunteer with the project from other external organizations that can help us to really build a scholarship program and to build close relations with these different partners. Right now, our current partner is Menos, and we're also hoping to, and we've been working with Menos for Persepsi, for our mentorship program, and we've been maintaining that relation with Menos. So we're hoping to continue to do so with the other student organizations that we have. We're also hoping to build a strong relationship with Kerja, especially because of their workshops, their network, and well, they're just an amazing company in general. And of course, maintaining relations with KJRI, KBRI, and like potentially working together for projects and helping out one another as usual. Next. We also have our events team. And what's going to happen with the events team, the main thing that we're going to focus on, or the most early thing that we can start planning right now, is going to be the Welcoming Party series, Ignite, and the annual Congress. But the one thing that we're focusing on right now is actually the Welcoming Party series, in hopes that we're able to, again, connect people from the East to the West and continue to kind of open up PERMIAS Nasional and keep up with the good work that the old cabinet has done, and to connect more people together, network, and build our community. Next. There's also ARPD, Academic Research and Professional Development. And I think the biggest thing that we're going to focus on with ARPD is to continue again with the different webinars that we've been doing, peer mentorship, and also the scholarship program. How that's going to kind of go into our vision is that through the webinars and through like Warkada and also Persepsi, that's going to help with kind of building our community's understanding of what's going on within the world as well. And I think Warkada focuses a lot more on academic research, while Persepsi is going to focus more on the professional development aspect. And of course, we're also going to be helping out the scholarship program and seeing what our department can do to help kind of amplify it or make it run smoother. And I think that is the last one for me. So thank you.
Yep. Okay, then the whole presentation is done. So maybe we can start with the first question. So Zahra, maybe you can start.
Yeah. So for the first question, thank you for the presentation. For the first question, what do you envision the flow of communication being between PERMIAS members and PERMIAS National and vice versa?
Okay, I can start. So I think to classify the PERMIAS members ada dua klasifikasi, which is satu directly just students in general, and kedua is cabang-cabang and like people who are board members in cabang-cabang. So in terms of board members in cabang, we do have like a WhatsApp group that we're gonna continuously communicate, and more specifically, maybe Latisa can explain this later, tapi kita juga ada koordinator wilayah, which is a role that she took, where kita ada wilayah, 9 wilayah across the US, and cabang-cabang have their own groups within those wilayah. And that's communication directly to cabang-cabang. And then secondly is the PERMIAS regular students themselves. I think this is why I mentioned, our chapters are one of our like our key partner essentially, because reaching out to the students from mau dari sekolah ada di West, Midwest, di South, and East, it's such a like wide reach that no way PERMIAS Nasional can do it alone. So we will rely on our key partners as well to communicate to their respective groups. Other than communication through chapters, we are also planning to create forums as part of our community outreach to have that direct communication dari PERMIAS Nasional to all the students. We are still thinking of and possibly surveying how we're gonna hold the forums, either through Facebook, ada juga Discord kemarin suggestionnya, atau Slack, but we're still figuring out what's the best like avenue to have those forums. Tapi itu ntar hopefully dari situ we can build even like interest group communities and everything like that, and also share more of PERMIAS events, as well as I think what's really important is get direct feedback of what people want, because I think our main focus is to give the students programs that they want. For this, if you guys want to add.
Yeah, I think Michelle's answer is already very comprehensive of what we're going to do in the coming year. So the only thing I wanted to add is the main idea is that we will try more to hear out from our members and from our chapters. So yeah, pretty much we will, because we are serving as the facilitator for them. So the only thing that's going to work is that if we hear out what the chapters and the members expected from us. So yeah, we will have, jadi bukan komunikasi satu arah, tapi kita mau jalin komunikasi dua arah to hear out from them what they really want and try to facilitate that.
Yeah, I completely agree with Hanif and Michelle, and I think that they both already had some really good answers. I just wanted to add really quickly that I think PERMIAS Nasional also kind of wants to be a building bridge between all students in the US. And what we want to do is we want to really grow, as Michelle talks about, our vision and mission is to really grow the Indonesian community and grow our network and kind of our skills and everything like that. And I think through all these different channels, through Corwell, through the forums and all that, all those amazing programs, I think that's what we're gonna try to do.
Okay, guys, thank you for the answers, and and we can start to invite all the participants in the Zoom to, maybe if you have any questions, maybe you can just quickly put it in the chat, or just open up your mic to just say it out loud. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to do it. If anyone have any questions. If not, then maybe I will ask some questions that we have prepared before. There's one question is, what will PERMIAS National do to improve the general engagement with other communities? For example, like for the American-born Indonesians, or maybe the Indonesian diaspora in general. What are your plans, guys?
So I can probably start answering this one. So yeah, the attempt that we're trying to do is pretty much through our partnership department. Jadi kita akan fungsikan this partnership department to really be our platforms to connect with the outside world gitu, beyond PERMIAS. Jadi tadi if you mentioned some of the other organizations, so we will have the partnership department will serve as our contact person to not only to passively hear out from them, to be open for any kind of collaboration that they ask, but also actively seek for future partners and try to come up with any kind of collaboration that we could have to benefit both PERMIAS and also the other organization. Anything you want to add, Michelle, this?
Ya, gue mau tambah aja sih, kayak I think that we're also gonna aim to, again, kayak because through these forums and things like that, it's gonna give us like a bigger opportunity, especially promoting on our Instagram, promoting to the different chapters gitu through our core whales and all that good stuff. We plan to bridge the community again, and I think that through advertising this, we're hoping to get more people to come and to pretty much invite them and reach out to them as much as we can. And so we really want to come off as a very inclusive community to everyone, and to really kind of have different options for different people as well. Jadi kayak if you're into art, if you're into more business gitu, more tech gitu, we want to have those different forums for different people. And I think that hopefully that's also gonna attract more individuals to join.
Yep, I think to add a little bit, juga mau engage chapters yang kemarin ada sih chapters yang Indonesian American Association gitu, tapi just specifically in UCLA. So they were specifically tailored to, Indonesians that were raised and grew up in the US, and I think it's just engaging with those communities that already exist, and just doing more actively, just reaching out to them and finding where they are, because I don't think there's many that exist yet, but then I know there are several that do. And then selain itu tuh juga engage, selain komunitas murid-murid, juga engage untuk ke Indonesian community in the US in general. I know there's some cities and states where the Indonesian community is really strong, kayak di Philly, DC, di LA, kayak banyak banget orang Indonya. So I think we need to be more active and engaging with a lot of them, because they will lead us to also, these diverse groups. And then secondly, you mentioned yang ISMA. Actually, gratefully, I was offered the opportunity to speak with Education USA July 10th. So hopefully through that channel, I can engage with anak-anak ISMA. What I heard is around 200 of them are participating in that event. I know kalau nggak salah ada 1,000 ya yang coming into the US, and I think a lot of them have many questions about what studying in the US is going to be like, and getting communities. And dari situ I think we really want to connect them ke cabang-cabang yang ada in that area, so they can really familiarize themselves with that area and also prepare their time of going to the US, and as well as get to know a lot of Indonesians and have a support system for their quite short time in the US.
Thank you for your answers. We have a question in the chat from Andrew. To the board, can you guys talk a bit more on how different it would be with a yayasan versus not? Hasn't PERMIAS National gone years without one? What would change?
I can maybe start off with in answering that. Thanks for the question, Drew. This is one of the projects that yang benar-benar mau didahuluin, and we're trying our best to really work on it to make sure it's established as a yayasan, because what it means for PERMIAS to be a yayasan is to make the organization sustainable. In our history, we have not been very, I guess, stable, and with student organization, it's this unique position where the board changes every single year. But when we are established as a yayasan, we have a board, we need to make these annual reports. It makes the organization more sustainable, because one of our main focuses, the three of us, dari gue, me, Hanif, Latisa, is not only to create programs that would be beneficial for this year, but to make PERMIAS Nasional's progress and programs and initiatives sustainable to like 10, 20, and all the coming years, because we are just setting up like a startup. And then secondly, what the yayasan would help is when we are interacting with different sponsors back home in Indonesia, that would actually really help us getting funding, because this allows companies to also show that they are donating to us on a CSR basis. And even this would not only help PERMIAS Nasional, tapi because PERMIAS Nasional as sort of the headquarters for chapters, chapters can also use these resources and their funding, and hopefully dari situ we can create an organization that's bigger, even better programs, and make it more sustainable. All right, yeah. Anyone else?
Any addition from Hanif or Latisa? Okay, if not, then we can move on to another question. There's another question in the chat box from Alvin, our current president. Every chapter has its own unique demography. Some chapters have more than 100 students. Meanwhile, there are also chapters with less than 20 people, 20 students. What's your strategy to make sure that all chapters can reach their maximum potentials?
Maybe I can jump into this one. Jadi, I think that, like I mentioned during the presentation, kan we want to really attend to the needs of each chapter, and we can understand that through the Koordinator Wilayahs. And I think that one way we can, make sure that each chapter reaches their maximum potential is through the Koordinator Wilayahs, and through updates, and through better getting to know people in the chapters. And so Koordinator Wilayahs, I think, play a strong role in helping us to understand, okay, what is the community looking for? What is it that they need, and how can we help them? Jadi bisa aja, like the big PERMIASes with more than 100 students, they need more resources, and it could be our job to help them. Atau it could be that PERMIAS chapters with less than 20 people, they need more manpower, they need more access to resources juga, bisa aja, and that's what we're gonna give them. We're gonna try our best to really push for whatever these chapters need, and we're gonna get to know them and provide these forums as well for them to kind of establish a good relationship with us, and to trust us enough to like take care of them if they need it.
And just a little thing to add, we are also planning to have meetings with all of the chapters, and this is something to so the official meeting we're aiming, since we have a lot of chapters. Jadi kemarin kalau nggak salah yang officially registered tuh ada 70-an, and just last year we already opened up about 14 new or 16 new chapters. So yeah, we really would like to know them personally, each of the chapters. So we're aiming to have a meeting with all of the chapters at least once. But of course, it's not just a one-off meeting. We're hoping that this will sort of kick off our continuous communication throughout the year also.
Yep. Just to add a little bit, I think both of them pointed out like something really key in terms of making sure we support the chapters to reach their maximum potential, which is listening to them. really talking with them, building a relationship and understanding kebutuhannya each chapter tuh apa sih? Karena I think with OrgDev, one of the initial programs we did was actually talk to a lot of different chapters. And with that, I started to see how, the focus of different chapters are completely different. Kadang ada yang some focusnya lebih ke business, professional aspect, and then there's some that focuses more on, social events. And then there are even some chapters that even needs more support because they only started their PERMIAS and are still finding their members. So definitely there's a diverse, needs from all these chapters. And the first step is listening to them. And then a second is through the organizational development department, they will continuously create programs and will be the first point of support for all the different chapters, as well as, so the coordinator wilayah is first point of communication, and then OrgDev will execute any programs that would potentially support these chapters. And lastly, I also want to mention that we want to have continuous engagement with the chapters as a whole. Jadi, we're also, through the General Affairs team, planning to have quarterly meetings where all our chapters are invited, where the discussion ranges. Sekarang, the draft is the discussion will be what PERMIAS Nasional's programs and offerings are for the past 3 months, and also what they're going to be in the next 3 months. And then after that is also showcasing near-term chapter events or programs. Jadi chapters juga bisa ngobrol-ngobrol tentang events mereka, apa aja, what's coming up. And then ketiga is just for us to have an open discussion, biar kita selalu just keep in touch. And also we receive a continuous stream of feedback throughout the year.
All right. I think the next question is also in the chat from Otto. A lot of the attention going towards PERMIAS National is due to the pandemic, since students are constrained to their own homes. Since the pandemic is winding down, at least in the US, in-class classes are being held, which means that there will be less attention towards virtual events and more attention towards in-person events, thus more attention towards the chapter. How is the next administration going to ensure that PERMIAS National stays relevant in this upcoming administration while supporting the chapters without competing against them?
I could maybe start off on this one. I think that yes, a lot of attention from PERMIAS National did come from the pandemic. Tapi it also brought up a lot of new things. As in for me personally, I would not have met Michelle or Hanif if it wasn't for the pandemic. And we wouldn't have done more collaborative events. So I think that the pandemic also taught us a lot, in the sense that events held virtually, we can get people from either side of the US. We can get people from the East and we can get people from the West. And I think we can continue to do that. Maybe within chapters, it's definitely more based on the area, but then looking at it from a bigger picture to connect the East and the West areas, we have these events. And I think that through events such as Coast to Coast, for example, which included Seattle, LA, Boston, and New York, that really helped to showcase for all the chapters from East to the West. And I think that's something that we can continue to encourage and continue to do. In the case of staying relevant, I think it more comes down to how we can help the chapters so that the chapters kind of have someone to fall back on. So we're not aiming to compete with them, and we're not aiming to be above them. We're aiming to properly work with them, and we're aiming to make sure that they're getting what they need. That would be our main job. And in terms of events, I think the pandemic taught us again, we are able to connect both sides, and we're able to get a lot of people to come to these events, and also really great speakers. Jadi misalnya, if we were in the US and there's going to be another event like Coast to Coast, we were going to be able to get someone from Indo to speak in that event, a big name from Indo that can speak in that event. And I think being virtual, it helps to allow us to do that, and it gives us a lot more resources. So
Duluan nih, silahkan.
Okay, thank you, Shell. I think we do that all the time, kayak selalu bareng unmute. But thank you for the question, Otto. Jadi ini spesial ya, tiga-tiganya langsung Andrew, Alvin, and then Otto nanya ke kita. So we are very honored to hear this. And yeah, just to add a little bit to what Latisa said, again, we are not trying to compete with the chapters. We are here for the chapters. So yeah, jadi kita lebih ingin memfasilitasi untuk for each of the different chapters to support them in any way we could. Ini nyambung ke pertanyaan yang tadi juga. Every chapter is unique in their own way. So yeah, and it's a great opportunity now that the pandemic is hopefully will be over very soon. So we will be able to have in-person events, and that would benefit a lot of the chapters, in my opinion. And yeah, the main point is we're trying to help the chapters in any way we could. So the communication with all the chapters will be our main priority, how we would engage all of the chapters. And ini juga thank you for the ad hoc team to hold this event. This event is very, very helpful because this sort of info session is what we are also looking forward in the future, because this gives us the platform to hear also from to hear up from the chapters gitu. Jadi kita bisa dengar masukan-masukan dari teman-teman. Kemarin in the past 2 weeks we also had this event with the East Coast and then Midwest and South, and we had a lot of great ideas. And like right after the info sessions, usually Michelle, Latisa, and me, we always get on the next phone call and then discuss each of the points that were concerned by the participants in the info session. Jadi kita dapat banyak ide-ide menarik juga dari teman-teman. So yeah, feel free if you guys have any ideas of, or if you guys have any concern how we would be able to help you guys, especially in the coming situation of the pandemic. So yeah.
Yeah. To add, I think I want to re-clarify the premise. I do agree that, with things being in person, everyone is going to be, more involved in in-person event. Tapi with the pandemic, it actually also provided a really unique opportunity where people are migrating more and, more accepting of using online platforms. So I think despite people moving more towards in-person events, the online community, I think, will still continue and go on and still be strong because of, the past year when everyone was so used to being online and doing work from home and everything like that. So I think that's one thing I want to mention first. And then secondly, yes, we're also planning, in-person events in collaboration with the chapter. The one event that we want to plan first is what Latisa mentioned, the Welcoming Party series, which will be held in, I think, the 9 different regions to welcome all the, incoming students. And this definitely is not an event that PERMIAS Nasional can, do by themselves. And we're going to engage and contact, and hopefully if the chapters are interested, also they become also like our co-hosts and to support the event, to welcome all the students that are coming. So, and then to answer your next question, how is the next administration is going to stay relevant? I think the biggest thing is, the purpose of PERMIAS Nasional and PERMIAS chapters ada kesamaannya tapi juga ada perbedaannya, because we are at this national scale. Terkadang we are able to even be the connector or facilitator, as Hanif mentioned, from external organizations, like misalnya government, mereka suka datang and kasih informasi ke PERMIAS nasionalnya langsung, dan mungkin mereka nggak langsung ngasih ke 79, or even yesterday I had a conversation and it's looking more like there's like 100 chapters. So we become sort of the point of contact for this integral information, kayak misalnya kasus COVID kemarin, ada juga immigration and everything like that. That information is given a lot of the times to PERMIAS Nasional and really want to be sort of that point of contact and support with the chapters with the scale that we have. And then third is your point about without competing against them. And I think this is something we all really want to stress is the fact that di sini tuh PERMIAS Nasional, we're trying to support all the time, trying to support. So if there are any events, even that chapters feel are, competing, with quotes, with them, they can just simply be actually our partners gitu. Kayak kalau misalnya PERMIAS Nasional bikin event apa, ini itu, and chapters come on board and say, hey, like I would love to like collaborate and join you in this program karena I think this would be great. I think that's some way we can think about it karena at the end of the day, I don't think it's about competition at all, tapi at the end of the day, our goal is the same, which is essentially bring all Indonesian students together. And next year, what we need to look at is how do we do that and work together for that same goal, because we're not trying for like a different goal, but in the end tujuannya sama dan kita harus kerja sama to reach that destination.
Okay, thank you for the answers, guys. We are keep inviting all the chapters to join us, maybe through the chat, or you can say it out loud your questions regarding the next administration. So please feel free to join in maybe through the chat, or just open up your mic to say out loud your questions regarding what's the next administration would do. In the meantime, while we're waiting from the chapters, we gathered some questions dari beberapa teman-teman kita di PERMIAS LA, dan ada satu pertanyaan yang menarik dan bisa dibahas nih untuk Michelle, Hanif, dan Latisa. So the question is, what will be your main focus for your administration for next year? Maybe in terms of programs, or maybe your targets, maybe. How do you see it, guys?
Well, to kind of start off with the question, mungkin I don't know if this is the answer that you're hoping for, but my main focus will be within the 6 departments, and then Latisa's focus will be within the other 6 departments, and then Michelle's focus will be in all 12 departments. Jadi we don't have any main focus. I think all of them are our main focus. So in order for this organization to be fully functional, then all of the aspects, all of the different departments with their own objectives and responsibility, they need to be functional. So jadi that's what we are trying to do. We're trying to set up this whole system for this organization to not only succeed in our administration, but also become sustainable for the coming years. Jadi we don't have any main focus. We are focusing on all of them equally.
Okay, who will talk?
Okay. Okay. Maybe I appreciate the question, because I think we even planning everything, and if you guys were listening to the presentation earlier, we have quite a lot of programs, and they're pretty diverse because we try and meet the needs of people. In terms of main focus, I think going back what Hanif said, we have so many things that we're trying to focus on. Tapi mungkin kalau aku bisa summarize, again, is going back to value add programs. Jadi benar-benar program-program yang akan give people value, and then those mainly in 3 areas, which is academic, professional, and social. And then secondly, another main focus of us is the people. I know this is more on the internal aspect, tapi really thinking about people development and appreciating our people. Karena I was just thinking about this earlier today, you know, PERMIAS Nasional, what I realized is I've met so many talented and people, inspiring people that, you know, even motivate me to be better and just like as a person in general. And what makes PERMIAS Nasional great is not the organization itself, but then the people that are within the organization. You know, all the talented individuals and members and directors that were like super creative, kayak misalnya Latisa with creating persepsi, Hanif, you know, bikin cabang-cabang dan kerjain yang lain-lain. Terus we have other members that are making YouTube series, kata segala macam. And so the people are a key aspect. And then the third part is sustainability. I think we keep mentioning this again and again and again, tapi how do we make PERMIAS sustainable and make sure that we are able to first continue the progress that Alvin, Andrew, and Otto has beautifully done with the previous board members of 80 plus people, I think. And then secondly is to grow that, and hopefully in the next year, whoever, you know, takes three of our positions would be able to grow the organization again and again, and that cycle continues.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like, I definitely agree with Michelle. I think the main things we want to focus on is the people and like meeting their needs and being of value and benefiting them. I think though, like another thing we want to focus is obviously our vision and mission to reach that goal. And how we're going to do that is exactly what Hanif said, which is to pretty much have an equal focus on everything and make sure each department is running everything smoothly and equally, and kind of making sure that everything's working and making sure that there is progress and that there's no, I guess, like nggak ada yang it's just there at like no dead weight, I guess, is kind of like our goal juga. So yeah, I just wanted to add that really quickly.
Thank you for your answers. We have another question in the chat from Timothy. What's the framework you're using to prioritize your value add programs?
Maybe I can start with that. In terms of prioritizing our value add programs, the main team we have, which is the general affairs team, kita sekarang are setting and collaborating with all the directors to really drill down on what are this year's goals overall as a year, and then for every quarter that we are here, and you know, not just goals that we are setting for them, tapi goals that our directors are super passionate about and will run through the year. So we will continue updating it throughout the year, tapi we are in the process of you know, creating these goals. And yeah, I think to make my answer more structured, maybe it was kind of like all over, tapi first is just listening to people's feedback. Secondly is finding which group of, you know, in our team that program is most suitable for. Terus ketiga is communicating with the directors to see how it will fit in with our plan. And then also, of course, there are some key items that are more high priority, which is just what we think are, you know, we do that through our discussions. And then keempat itu tuh putting them in the timeline, like when are we going to do it and execute it, and is this realistic for us, or does that need to be in a placeholder kept for ideas we can save for the next year's board. But overall, I think we've managed it in a way where we try and make all the teams have enough capacity for the programs that they are running.
And yeah, may I add a few things about this? So yeah, in terms of setting up our value add, since this is talking about the framework, I would like to step back a little bit and explain sort of the whole process, why we came up with the programs that we already mentioned in our presentation. Jadi yeah, we started from analyzing what is the condition and what are the needs of for all of the members. Jadi kita mulai dengan analisis kondisi dan analisis kebutuhan, and then we do all sort of analyzation techniques for those. Some of the simple ones, like So yeah, I mean, I could talk forever about this, but basically we are looking at this organization, PERMIAS Nasional, and since this is a non-profit organization, students organization, so yeah, we are pretty much doing volunteer works gitu. Jadi kita nggak we're not aiming to find profits from this. So our main goal is to fulfill all of the needs of our members and all our chapters. Jadi yeah, in terms of prioritizing, that's why we always try to communicate, to have this ongoing communication with all of the chapters and all of the members. What do they need? What can we do for them? Jadi that's why for our vision and mission, we are focusing on value add programs. And yeah, tadi dijelasin juga sama Michelle, we separate those needs into academic, professional, and social needs. So that's basically the three aspects that we are going to be working on in terms of tadi prioritizing. Jadi those three aspects, and we will try all we can to fulfill those three needs from all of our chapters and all of our members, even if it means finding Alvin a girlfriend. Tadi sempat ada yang mention soal Alvin tertarik dengan program Permias Mara. Since that is also our part of our value add program in terms of social needs of the members, then that's what we are going to do. Jadi yeah, it's not impossible, Vin.
Sorry, komen yang terakhir lucu. Gue cuma mau just add one short thing. The feedback aspect yang Hanif mentioned is really, really important. Other than helping Alvin out, that's important too. But the feedback portion is really important. That's why we're grateful we get this like info session series. Makanya kalau misalnya kalian ada feedback apa-apa, our programs are really based on your guys' feedback and what people say continuously as their need. Jadi if you guys do have feedback, please disampaikan juga. And yes, we can find Irshad. And he can join Permias Mara. Sorry, Tis, I think you were gonna speak.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add something like really quickly. Jadi I think that one way we've also been kind of one thing we've been kind of like structuring our department itu juga is one way that we're kind of trying to make sure that all of our programs are getting equal attention, which is having co-directors, having one person focus on, misalnya kayak if there's 2 co-directors and there's 4 projects in the department, they have like maybe 2 programs for each person, and they're kind of handling those 2 programs and focusing on those 2 only with their own respective teams. And we kind of also let our directors help out, kayak pick like, okay, kira-kira per berapa orang, how much manpower do I need for this to go on smoothly, gitu-gitu. And then they have like different people focusing on different things, which is I think also a really good thing that we have going on.
All right, thank you for the answers, guys. There's one question that we skipped actually. Before Timothy, there's one question from Irshad that's also emphasized by our friends from Permias LA. So the question is, what are you gonna do to get us jobs? So you have any ideas, guys? What your plan is?
Am I?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, maybe I can start this one. I think partnerships, we focus a lot on like kind of working with different external organizations. One of them is Kerja. And so we're hoping that maybe they could kind of help partner with us in the sense of helping these undergraduates find internships. And in the case of long-term jobs, gitu, we actually also plan on partnering with JIPA and IPA, which are professional associations in the US. We're hoping that's going to kind of increase our network and also grow, again, the Indonesian community and help them find jobs either in the US or in Jakarta. And yeah, I think that's one way that we can help to get people jobs and also to kind of put them in their respective fields, also with the help of the forums and kind of helping them figure out what they want as well, potentially through mentorship juga. So there's a lot of different ways that our programs can help the community find jobs. and career fairs juga, yes, Irshad mentioned. We're also planning on having event career fairs from the as one of our kind of upcoming programs that goes with JIPA and IPA as well. And I think that a lot of when we were talking about it and kind of researching a bit more on it, these career fairs are kind of like networking events. And so kind of where people are able to meet different professionals that are work and different professional Indonesians working in the US. And I think that's going to help to kind of gain them more network and potentially kind of like a leeway into like a corporation.
Yeah, if I can add on the career fair, that's really one of my dream to have that career event. Gara-gara I see it from other student associations, which is like the Brazilian as well as the Japanese Student Association. I had a couple of my friends that they do have a career fair once a year. I think they hold it at New York, and then in that career fair they can go home, like just go there, and then within like 1 or 2 days like already have job offers from there, and like the interviews langsung dijalanin di situ, and that directly like I think buat gue ngerasa bisa senang banget if I can help people in their lives, juga bukan sekarang doang di US, tapi maybe even after they graduate from school. So harapannya bisa sampai situ. Obviously, ini gara-gara this is our first iteration. It's gonna be a step-by-step process. We're still planning on the structure, but the main focus of the career fair is to connect, our talented students to excited employers who want to hire talent from the US. I think me personally, I still want to make the employers, both from Indonesia and the US, and we're still with our partners that Latisa mentioned, trying to figure out how. And the trajectory right now is to make something ready for like next summer internship. So maybe around in between November to January. That's something very tentative still. And hopefully ada online versionnya, dan kemungkinan juga ada maybe in-person networking sessionsnya juga. We're still shaping up the program, but that's how we hope to help to really get people jobs. And again, this is like our value add programs. Karena how cool is it kalau misalnya PERMIAS Nasional can actually help people get their full-time jobs, And I think that's a big impact that we're trying to create and make. Yeah.
And just a few things to add. That in terms of finding a job, so one aspect is to find the connection, and that's, I think Latisa and Michelle already mentioned a lot of things that we are going to do in terms of improving and giving the opportunity for all of our members to get connections, and basically opportunity to get an interview. That's what we're trying to do with our partnership efforts and our connections. But then after you get the interview, it will be all depends on your personal capabilities and also your soft skills and maybe hard skills. And that is maybe one aspect that a lot of people forgets. Jadi in terms of soft skill, how you would be able to communicate, how you would be able to work well gitu in your jobs, itu that sort of things can also be achieved, can be developed if you're a part of organization. Jadi that's probably one of the aspects that people might miss. Jadi the opportunity to actively participate in organizations such as PERMIAS Nasional and PERMIAS chapters, that's also going to improve your capabilities and your soft skills in order for you to get the jobs. Jadi this is also an invite to all of you if you would like to work with us to develop your capabilities. And we also have tadi sempat kita mention juga, we especially for our officers, we have a ton of ideas of how we will be able to give some added value for you guys in order in terms of developing your soft skill and personal capabilities. Jadi if you guys are interested, please stand by. We will have the opportunity. You guys will have the opportunity to join us as our officers. And also, if you guys are already actively participate in PERMIAS chapters, please let us know if you guys have any ideas that somehow we would be able to collaborate and in order to develop each of the PERMIAS chapters.
Okay, thank you for your answers. Another question there is from my understanding, there is alumnus in Indonesia. What makes the PERMIAS Yayasan different?
Well, in terms of alumnus, alumnus itu kan buat alumni ya. And then, so I think the biggest difference is the target market. They're actually one of, hopefully, we're trying to connect with them also as one of our partners actually, to also facilitate more for our alumni dari PERMIAS. So I think from the scope of the organization itself juga udah target marketnya udah beda banget, tapi definitely in the same sort of line of, you know, interest.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something about Alumnaskan as like an alumni relation, like an alumni organization. We aim to kind of work with them and hope to like kind of course, as usual with all of our other partners, gain continuous like connections from them, hoping that they can benefit us and we can be of help to them as well. So kind of like the two-way street partnerships gitu-gitu, potentially even doing kind of like helping with like fundraising atau enggak kayak just in general to help network for webinars, collaborations gitu-gitu as well.
Okay, so thank you for the answers, and unfortunately the time comes to an end, so we only have one more question left in our list. The question is, Michelle previously talked about IMSA, which is the program from Kemdikbud to send a few Indonesian students to abroad for 1 semester, and they will come to US. We believe in the next semester, so they come in a shorter period of time other than the usually students, other students in the US. So how are you guys going to approach them? What are the programs that do you have any programs planned from them to those who have shorter period of time in the US?
Kemarin aku sendiri sempat ngobrol sama Education USA tentang IMSA, and they kind of introduced me a little bit about these students. And so I think mainly nomor satu tuh hopefully mereka bisa mau ikut, ada welcoming dari Education USA itu di Indo July 10th. Tapi what we're trying to create the welcoming series that's going to be in the US. So hopefully mereka juga mau ikut welcomingnya yang di US, and kita bisa ajak kenalan first of all, so they know that we exist and we can help them. And then secondly, is also to connect them with chapters that are in that area, so they can really connect, you know, especially cabang-cabang yang per sekolah. Karena if I'm not wrong, dari IMSA itu ada specifically untuk 5 schools, and almost I think 3 or 4 of them are in East, and I know they also have specific chapters for each of these schools. So I think first is just connecting with them in the welcoming series, and also connecting them to the specific chapters, because more than anything, I think their biggest need is just they don't know what it's like to go to the US, and it's their first time here. And I think the biggest thing is for us to also provide a platform to network. Jadi mereka walaupun time-nya short di US, tapi mereka masih kenal banyak teman-teman di sini, even when after they go back. And then third, yang kemarin sempat didiscuss itu kemungkinan bikin even like a forum specifically for them as well, so they can get connected with one another and support one another in the US. Those just are a few things that we would create for them, and other than that, we have our general programs that we hope that they're also interested in. And then since I know this is, I think, the last question, I just want to give a short plug, not related to the question, tapi if you guys liked, what we've been saying so far, are interested in our programs, or are interested in becoming involved, like Hanif said, this is one way you can also expand your network. And for me personally, it's been, a really amazing journey where I met like truly like friends that have inspired me and impacted, me as a person. So if you're interested, we have interest forms going out, and we'll officially hold recruiting July 4th. Tapi the interest forms are bit.ly/interest PERMIAS, bit.ly/interest PERMIAS, and then that would direct you to our interest form. So please do apply, and you'll have another chance for the formal recruitment on July 4th as well. But definitely, if you have, if you can apply sooner in the interest form and just show that you want to be part of the organization, that'd be amazing.
Okay, thank you everyone for all the questions and the answers. We're going to conclude the Q&A part of today, and we're going to have Michelle do the closing remarks.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Zara. First of all, before I close, I just want to say thank you to everyone, kedua moderator, Harun, Zara, for holding the event, as well as creating the promotion materials and everything like that. And then thank you juga to my amazing teams, Hanif and Latisa, for an amazing presentation. Menurut gue kayak, oh my God, seneng banget ngedengerinnya. And as well as all the participants that came in to join, especially those that came in with questions. And, these questions definitely get us even thinking a bit more, and we take them as feedback of what things are people interested about, so we can make sure to focus on that. And then ketiga, thank you for everyone that is tuning in on YouTube. Really appreciate everyone's time. So since this is our last info session, I just want to emphasize that we really want to also thank the old board that really was able to jumpstart the creation of what PERMIAS Nasional is today, and the fact that why everyone is so interested in PERMIAS Nasional. I think they deserve a huge, huge, huge shout out, led by Alvin, Andrew, and Otto, as well as all the amazing team members from the old board. I think PERMIAS wouldn't be what it is today without every single one of them that really put in their hard work, and sometimes even made PERMIAS their entire life for some people. So thank you so much. And yeah, I am really excited for the coming year. Again, if you guys have any feedback, feel free to always reach out to us, and we really hope that in the coming year, we can really fulfill all of your feedback, the pain points, and create value add programs that becomes meaningful, not just for your education and the meantime in the US, tapi juga for your future, life setelah kuliah. And even with these networks, create a sustainable platform for everyone to continuously, become a supportive, a support system with each other, even once we're all over the world. Abis kita selesai kuliah, hopefully kita masih bisa kenal sama satu sama lain, dan like not be strangers essentially. And hopefully you guys liked what you saw. If you have specific feedback, let us know. And I'm just really excited for the next year, and hopefully we can fulfill semua ekspektasi kalian and even go over it. That's it from me. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Michelle, Hanif, and Latisa. Before we close this session, since this will be the very last session before Congress, so that will be next week. I think it's good for us to have some concluding remarks also from the previous administration, from Alvin. So please, Alvin, could you open your mic and open your microphone and just give us some concluding remarks before the Congress. Thank you.
Okay. Again, thank you, Harun, Zahra, and all ad hoc team who organized this info session. For my superb team, Otto and Andrew. So if Michelle has Hanif and Latisa, I still have Andrew and Otto beside me. Thank you for organizing all these info sessions, the 3 times info sessions. And I think this is the last info session before we proceed to Congress. Guys, to all PERMIAS chapters, especially those who reside in the West, please make use of this transition period. Please make use this transition period so that you can learn, you can know how we actually try to transfer the leadership of PERMIAS Nasional smoothly in the midst of this pandemic. I know it has been very difficult for us to run this organization, but I'm actually I'm giving my I'm giving props to Michelle, Hanif, and Lapisa for being brave enough to run for the next administration. So we have a lot of challenge in PERMIAS Nasional, and all of us want PERMIAS Nasional to be to reach the best performance of itself. So again, and we want to make everything that has been started or initiated in PERMIAS Nasional to be sustainable. Jadi please manfaatin waktu yang ada, manfaatin kesempatan yang ada. Guys, PERMIAS Nasional is a place for you to learn, to make friends, to network, and to build your future. Ya, kita belajar sama-sama di sini, kita saling jadi teman, kita saling support each other. So please make this community to be a great community to grow together. Gitu. Speaking of growing together and the transfer of the leadership, I would like to remind all of you guys to come to our PERMIAS National Congress next Saturday. July 3rd Indonesian time, so it will be July 2nd if in the US time evening. Di situ kita bakal to give our report, like what have we done through the whole year. Terus maybe you guys want to give some feedback, and also what lesson learned buat kita semua, so that PERMIAS can go can reach higher than before gitu ya. So stay safe, stay healthy semuanya. Yep, that's all I can say. Sehat-sehat semuanya. See you next Saturday. Okay, bye.
Thank you very much, Alvin, for the concluding remarks. And this will end the info session, the whole info session. So next agenda will be, as Alvin said, is the Congress. I'll remind you guys again that the Congress will be on July 3rd, 8 a.m. Indonesian time, Western Indonesian time, WIB, 8 pagi WIB. And for the US, it's July 2nd, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So the Congress team will have the details sorted in Dewan Perwakilan and also in Nafikarana group chat. And yep, and by that, representing ad hoc team, we would like to say thank you for all the enthusiasm, for all the questions that you guys have given to us. And we also thank you for Michelle, Latisa, and Hanif for the opportunity for us to have the info session, so we can explore your programs and we can share what you have, and hopefully it will be useful for your administration later. So thank you very much, and stay safe, stay healthy, and see you guys next week in the Congress. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you.